Hello there guys! For today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a simple bokeh effect in Photoshop. And also, we will dive deeper into duplicating background layers, applying lens blur, creating a layer mask, selecting the gradient tool, applying the gradient on the layer mask, add custom bokeh lights, paint bokeh lights, adjusting color and brightness of bokeh lights, and fine-tuning the effect. So let's get started! So here in our document, I already prepared here an image where we are going to apply our bokeh effect. So the first step we're going to do here is we're going to duplicate the layer of our background layer. So to do that, going into the layers panel, I'm going to right click on the background layer and then select on duplicate layer. And we're going to name this layer as blur. Moving on to the next step, now we're going to apply the lens blur here. So to do that, selected on the blur layer, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to the menu bar, select on filter. Under filter, choose blur. And under blur, choose lens blur. And this lens blur dialog box will appear for we can apply the changes. And yes, moving on to the radius over here under iris, we're going to set this up to around 30 to 50 pixels. So that's why I'm going to set this one into around 45. I'm good with this. And then don't change the other adjustments. That's fine. And now let's select OK, just to create a blurry background. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. Going back, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to create a layer mask. So yes, selected on the blur layer, I'm going to add layer mask. To do that, just go at the bottom, click on this icon. And once we click that, we already have our mask. The next step we're going to do here is we're going to apply a gradient on our image. So yes, still selected on the blur layer. Let's go to the gradient tool on the toolbar on the left side of the screen. Click on this. This is the gradient tool. And by the way, for the shortcut key of that, you can just press letter G. And then we're going to choose the linear gradient from white to black. So for the options, just go on top, click on this, set this one to white. And for the and on the right side, set this one to black, just like this. And once set, select OK. Now we're going to apply the gradient on our blur layer. So to do that, select on this layer. I'm going to drag the gradient tool from the bottom to the top of the image. So I'm going to start from here, going up like this. And there you are. And this will gradually reveal the sharpness in the foreground while keeping the background blurred. Moving on to the next step is we're going to add the custom bokeh lights. So to do that, we're going to create a new layer above the blur layer. So going here, selected on the blur layer, I'm going at the bottom, click on this. This is the create a new layer. Click on that. And then I'm going to select on the brush tool on the toolbar. Go here, or for the shortcut key, you just have to press B. So for the options, I'm just going to click on this. We're going to make use of a soft brush here. And then we're going to set the brush color to white. So click on this and set it to white. Select OK. And now we're going to paint the bokeh lights onto the new layer, focusing on the blurred areas to enhance the effect. Also, you can create here different sizes of bokeh lights. For example, on this area, create a dot. All right, and also in this area, I'm going to decrease the size by pressing open bracket key and then create a dot. All right, so I just keep on doing the same thing. Now, once we are finished creating those bokeh lights or those dots, now we're going to adjust the color and the brightness of the bokeh lights. So to do that, I'm going to double click on the layer, and we're going to tick on the outer glow. So it's over here. Just tick this one. Okay, and for the options, you can just have to click on this layer, and there you go. Now you may now start adjusting the layer. So we're going to set the blend mode to screen, for the opacity to around 35, and we're going to set the color into white. And for the size, we're gonna set this up to 10 pixels. And then select OK. And now you can see that we already created those bokeh lights on the background. Now the next step we're gonna do here is we're going to fine tune the effect. So to do that, we're just going to adjust the opacity of this layer. So I'm going to decrease this one like this. Now that looks better. Alright, so if you still want to add more bokeh lights here, well, we can do the same method, okay? So it's just like this. So I'm going to select again on the new layer, create a new layer. Okay, so now this one, we're gonna set this one as the bokeh lights yellow. Alright, and then click on it, and then select on the bokeh lights yellow layer. And then I'm going to click on the brush tool, set the foreground color. We can just choose a color here, for example, this one's the yellow ones, and then select OK. All right, so same thing, we're going to create a dot here. All right, so the same thing what we did. So I'm going to double click on that bokeh lights yellow, and then tick on the outer glow. Now this time I'm going to change the color, so click on that. All right, for the color, I'm going to set this one into yellow, just like that. All right, now there you go. That's much better. Okay, and then select OK. All right, for the opacity, this time we can just play the slider around. If you want to make it a little bit hard, yeah, we can increase the opacity or soft. That's fine. So for me, I prefer a soft layer here. So I'm gonna set this one into 20. That's fine. Okay. And lastly, for the fine tuning of the effect, decrease the opacity. Okay, just like that. All right. Okay, so once these are all said and done, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to reveal our subject. So to do that, selected on the blur layer, I'm going to click on the thumbnail and then choose the brush, set the foreground color to black, and now we may now start painting on our subject to reveal them. And there you go. Alright, now I may now show you the before and after. So this one is the before, and this one is the after. And that is how to create a simple bokeh effect in Photoshop.